Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to be providing an update to the bull market support band. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the sale on the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, one of the things we like to do on this channel every single week, no matter what, is provide an update to the bull market support band. And as the months and years pass, I think it's more and more obvious the importance of the 20-week estimate and the 21-week EMA. When we are above those levels, we know that altcoins can hold relatively well in the event of a Bitcoin dump. But when we're below the bull market support band and Bitcoin has pullbacks, altcoins are not as typically they're not able to as quickly recover. So right now the price of Bitcoin is right around $39,000. The 20-week SMA is coming in at around $47,400. The 21-week EMA is at 44K. So more or less, the bull market support band now ranges from 44K to around 47K, 47.4K. So 44K to 47.4K is more or less the line in the sand. Now, what you notice is that Bitcoin, the bulls every few weeks, maybe every month or so, they take a run at it, right? They make a run at the bull market support band. And if they get rejected, then typically they either go revisit the prior low, or have some type of pullback, or we go put in a lower low. Okay, so typically when it gets rejected, you go either revisit the prior low within some tolerance, right? It doesn't have to be exact, or you go put in a lower low, and we have seen that, right? I mean, we got rejected here, and then we put in a lower low. We got rejected here, and instead of putting in a lower low, we more or less retested the prior low to within about $1,000 or so. Right? What is $1,000 among friends? So again, we're looking at it right now, and we see this rejection by the 21-week EMA. And what's interesting is we came all the way back down in that weekly candle, all the way back down to where we were previously. So I think it's important to remember that while it's not as much fun talking about the bull market support band when the market is bearish below it, and again, when you're in a downtrend below the bull market support band, you might as well think of it, whether you want to or not, as the bear market resistance band. I mean, clearly the market has been bearish for months now, and when the market's bearish, we need to recognize what are the lines in the sand that could actually change the sentiment. Because what we've seen happen over the last several months is we've seen one after another attempts by the bulls to get back above the bull market support band, but all of them just get sold off. None of them have been successful. And so this is the name of the game, right? In the same way that the bull market support band can be important in terms of holding it as support when the market is bullish, like we've seen happen multiple times in the past. It's also important when we get rejected by it, because the market is at least telling you something. It's not always what we want to hear. I'll grant you that. It's certainly not what we always want to hear, but it is telling us something. And that is, at this moment in time, there just is not enough demand by the Bitcoin bulls to surge us past the bull market support band. And so we have to be patient. We have to recognize that these periods can last for quite some time, depending on I mean, obviously it depends on how severe the bear market is, how long it lasts. But we should note that rejections off of it are a telltale sign of Bitcoin being bearish. Okay, I don't know how else to say it. With that said, I do think that eventually we will get back above it, but the only question is how low do we have to go before that happens? The last time that we went below it was back in the summer lull, and over here it only took about 3 months to get back up to it, and then we ended up holding it as support, about a month and a half later. At this point, we've seen, just systematic rejection one after another, and no real break of the bull market support band. If you go back to 2019, we also had, a mini bear market over here where we were just systematically rejected off of the bull market support band here. Here we got above it, but it doesn't matter because we didn't hold it as support. Remember, it's a very strenuous process. You have to get above it, and then you have to hold it as support for it to actually mean anything. And here we got above it, and then we ultimately held it as support, and then it kicked off this rally. Okay. In 2018, it was just one rejection after another, right? I mean, rejection. Crypto investors know what rejection feels like, right? All of these rejections. And then finally, we had this capitulation, and then we mustered up the courage to get back above it, and then Bitcoin went up about 4x in a relatively short period of time. So, when I look at the market today, all we can say right now is that Bitcoin's been in a bear market for, I mean, I know the idea of it being in a bear market since like March or April is kind of lost on some people, and they don't necessarily buy that, and that's fine. But even if you just look at say this metric of saying, well, it's below the bull market support band, this is a very bearish sign for Bitcoin. Just take it for what it is, okay? So we'll continue to follow this and see if what each week brings. But so far, as of March 7th, 2022, we are still seeing just one rejection after another. So I do think that if Bitcoin can surge past the bull market support band, then it might be worth taking note of that and saying, all right, well, at least the bulls are showing some strength. But remember, even in that case, it doesn't matter if they can't hold the line at the bull market support band. And that is a very key test for Bitcoin, is not, can it actually hold the line and then continue to push higher, or does it just fall back below it like it did in 2019 when we had that push past the bull market support band. So that's where we are today. I know getting rejected off of the bull market support band is not the most ideal news to bring. But it is the news for the price that we need to bring each and every week, no matter what. And of course, we are coming up to some very longer term moving averages. Right, here's the 100-week moving average. We need to be prepared if that ends up breaking. It's currently at around 33.6K or so, 33.7K, depends on the exchange that you use. But we'll talk more about that as the days go by, and we'll see what Bitcoin does. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we do have the premium list sale, intothecryptoverse.com. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.